Thank you for clicking and checking out the paintball channel that is called Lugar Peligroso. I've been uploading just little videos, but I felt like I really needed to make one video to start this whole thing off right and explain to everybody in the paintball community and those that are just curious, what is Lugar Peligroso? What is this all about? And here we are. So the struggle is, of course, equipment, video editing. I was gonna put my camera, my phone, on this stand, and of course we busted it as soon as we started recording. There's the spring. So yeah, we definitely need support. We need people to just check out the channel, help it grow, so that we continue to make good videos, become better videos, and hopefully the editing continues to get better and better. But again, thank you for checking out the channel, for giving us a chance, and please like, share, and subscribe, especially if you're into paintball. We are a paintball family over here, and we would like to welcome everybody into our paintball family, our paintball circle. So let me start by talking about the paintball journey before Lugar Peligroso, okay? I started paintballing sometime back in like 2010. And the way I got into it was I used to run a youth group, a bunch of teens from the old neighborhood where I grew up at. And we were always doing community service stuff. And I had to come up with fun ways to say thank you, to reward my youth group. And we would do things like Great America trips. We would go to baseball games, soccer games. One day, one of my youth group kids says, "Why don't we go paintballing?" And I said, "Man, that's a great idea. Let's do it." And so we started to find paintball places, and we ended up going to this paintball field, and I got hooked. After playing with my kids, I fell in love. Now, at the time, I'm a single guy, no kids, no wife, no nothing. It's just me. So a good friend of mine and myself just started going to the local paintball field, and we started going practically every weekend, to the point that we became members. And for those of you guys that are from the Chicagoland area, you'll recognize this card right here. This is a CPX paintball membership. So yeah, as you see, 410. So I either started playing either in 2009 or 2010. I don't know if that's the expiration date. But yeah, this is history right there. Now, I had a blast. CPX was an awesome paintball field. There was a lot of good times there. As a matter of fact, before they closed, they hosted some very famous games out there. Living Legends, I believe, is the place where the Living Legends paintball games started, was here. So unfortunately, CPX closed. The land has been sold, and it's now, I believe it's like townhomes, condominiums, whatever it is. Here's the problem. And again, I realize that everybody that's watching this video probably does not understand the way Chicago works. In Chicago resides in what is called Cook County. In Cook County, it is banned to shoot anything air-powered. You cannot shoot BB guns, airsoft, paintball guns, anything that is air-powered, no. So, of course, there cannot be any paintball fields in Chicago. So you have to go to the suburbs to play paintball. So you have to leave Chicago. You have to leave the Cook County area and drive out to some of these suburbs. And that's a big challenge because, what young kids from Chicago can afford to go out to the suburbs and take their gear and go play. It becomes a challenge. But again, that's just the way it is in the Chicagoland area. So when I was playing at CPX, I really started to get fed up with some of the idiot players. You know, the kids that show up at the paintball field with a paintball gun that shoots 25 paintballs a second, and they bonus ball you, and they just play like assholes. And I almost got into a couple of fights. And I'm an older guy, okay? At the time I was playing, I was in my 30s. I did not want to beat up some teenager. So my friends that used to go paintballing with me, we were brainstorming one day and we said, hey, why don't we just buy our own field? And the only people who can play on the field are our friends and invited guests. So that's what happened. I started shopping around for a paintball field, or just a piece of land. And it's very hard because obviously you don't want to buy land that's going to be near anything residential. You have to be careful with your neighbors. You really have to look at the laws of that area. As luck would have it, I ended up finding a piece of land in the same county, in the same city where CPX was located at. And so I found this. This is, at the time, I thought this was an acre of land. I've been told that it's more than an acre, but whatever is highlighted in red, that is my entire land. It is approximately 9 parcels of land. And as you can see, there's nothing around me. That line right here, that's a creek. And this line over here, that's a railroad. And then there's another railroad up here. It is a perfectly secluded field that we're going to turn into a paintball field. Now, if you look at the land, you can see that is just overgrown with trees and brush and all that fun stuff. So that's the plan, is to clear it out. Now, let me give you some history on this place. I bought it back like 5 years ago, right before COVID hit. When we bought the land, I told myself, or I said to friends, dude, this is going to be the most amazing year ever. And then like a week or two after I made that statement, COVID hit. And then everything got shut down. So between COVID, again, I'm a guy in my late 30s when I bought this property. So, you know, you're dealing with family, you're dealing with kids. It just made it really, really hard to dedicate time. On top of the fact that I didn't live anywhere close to this property. I lived over 30 something minutes away, almost an hour, I would say. So I just held on to the property, but in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, I'm going to get there. Well, within the last couple of years, I bought a skid steer. And I also bought a brush hog so that we can start clearing the land. And then most recently, back in October, we moved. We sold our old house and we moved closer to the property. I would say I'm probably 15 minutes to 20 minutes away from this property. So now I'm hoping that with me living closer, we will be able to come out here and start doing the work. My plan is really to clear the land and use it for riding ATVs, because we have a couple. We definitely want to paintball. We want to camp out here. We want this property to be a fun property. And so one of the ideas I also got is I want to videotape all of this. I would love to document what it takes to get a paintball field up and running from scratch. Because when I used to belong to Paintball Nation, you know, the forum, you always saw kids talk about this. Oh, I'm going to buy a paintball field. And everybody used to say, oh, here we go again. You kids have no clue what it takes to, and they're right. It is very expensive to do all this. But nobody ever breaks it down. Nobody ever talks about it. So that's what I want to do. I want to document this process. And again, only thing I'm asking is, can I just have your attention? Can you guys please like, share, subscribe? I want to get as many eyes as possible to this. I want to do reviews. I want to do paintball reviews, paintball marker reviews, paintball masks. I mean, everything. If you're a paintball company, please reach out to me. We will be more than happy to showcase your products, share them with the paintball community, and actually put them to real life use on a real paintball field out here so that people can see what your company is bringing to the paintball community. But again, we went from good old CPX days to now trying to get our own thing started. Now, we have a lot of land. So I was already thinking, one of this area, a lot of this area, we're hoping it's going to be woods ball. Maybe, divide this up. So maybe this section over here, woods ball, maybe this section right here, we can do, maybe we can do something more like obstacle course related, like, just putting like pallets and all sorts of good stuff. But I actually would like to make a speedball field and invite teams that need to practice for tournaments and stuff to come out and, run their drills. Again, I'm not a big speedball player, but I understand that paintball takes on a lot of forms, and I would just love to invite anybody who's, a paintballer to come out and check out the place. So I'll close this video with saying Lugar Peligroso is Spanish for dangerous place. That's what Lugar Peligroso means. Lugar means place. Peligroso means dangerous. So I immediately fell in love with that name when I was trying to come up with a name for the field, and that's what it's called. So that's what the channel is called. And again, thank you for taking the time to check out the channel. Thank you for clicking on the video and checking that out. I'm not big on showing my face. I'm not big on doing crazy intros. This channel is a DIY, get to it. Let's just knock it out of the park. And yeah, this isn't going to be no fluff, no glamorous, no none of that. So again, if you're a paintballer, please share, like, subscribe, let your friends know, tell them, hey man, check this out. Look at what they're doing out in the suburbs of Chicago, Illinois. We will be getting this paintball field up and running, okay? Thank you for checking out the video. And again, you'll be seeing more of us in the future.